Hello. Here's a brief content warning for you. This video contains some homophobic slurs that are used in a reclaimed sense. If that makes you uncomfortable at all, I completely understand, and you are free to click off, exit the video whenever you want. But if you still want to watch, but also at the same time don't want to hear that, there are timestamps in the description to help you skip over them, because I want this to be a good time. Let's have fun. Um, anyways, let's go. Yeehaw. Hey, hi, hello, how are ya? This time, I'm doing something little different than what I usually do, which is just anything. Uh, so this is a horror villain hotness tier list. I made this a while ago, and I was just sitting there, bored. Thought it would be fun to just go through it and for me to give my personal rankings, cause my opinions matter. um, this list isn't like just about how sexually attracted I am to each character. It's more like it's more like how I feel they would be as a partner. Their attractiveness and how good or bad I think they'd be in the sack does play a small part in that, but it's not like my entire goal or anything. Even if through the jokes I'm probably gonna make, it might like seem that way. But enough of me rambling. Let's get into it. We're starting off with Angela Baker from Sleepaway Camp, and she gets an S tier. Now, Angela is a very puritanical woman. She kills people for doing the fuck. She does not like the weeds. She doesn't like racism either. She killed that racist girl in the third movie. So, that's poggers. I think, she would definitely just lob my dick off with a machete if I whipped it out. But, it doesn't have to be about that. We can just hug, cuddle. She probably likes a good hug. She likes a good cuddle, and love and respect her for that. Next is Amanda Young from Saw, and I'll give her an A. No, I think I'll give her a B. I feel bad giving her a B because she's amazing. But, Amanda, she would be very loving and kind. She is great, but I feel like she's too obsessive and possessive of the people around her. Like, if we were dating, she would not give me any room to breathe, and anybody that I talk to, and all my friends, they would just wind up dead and with their head in my freezer. Next, we have Angelique, however you pronounce it, from Hellraiser, and she gets an S tier. Angelique, she's just a leather-clad dummy mommy. That's hot, and you just know she does some fucked up shit with her exposed brain there. Next, we have Mr. Art the Clown from Terrifier, and my dude, he gets a C tier. Art is not big on consent, and that's a real big issue. He's really into knife play and blood play. Like, to the point that he'd stab me in the stomach while I'm riding him, lift me up, and then rub my blood all over his dick. Which, that ain't good. Don't like that. Don't think anyone likes that. Next, we got Mr. Bobby Duke, the Babadook. He gets an S tier. He's a queer icon. What else do I need to say? Next, we got Mr. Candyman from Candyman, Daniel Robitel. He gets an S tier. He's Tony Todd. He's Tony Todd. What else do I need to say? He's fucking Tony Todd. Charles Lee Ray, doll form, F tier, not fucking a doll. Charles Lee Ray, human form, D tier. D tier. D tier for human Chucky, because we don't see a lot of our boy Chuck as a regular duderino, regular guy, regular bozo. But I would assume that his personality is basically the same. And, like, in his doll form, he's a big jokester.
It ain't the size that counts, asshole.
He's a goofy guy.
I can't think of a thing to say.
He's a silly little joke teller.
You goddamn women drivers!
And he makes a bunch of little quips and shit, and while he's slicing and dicing.
Get off my knife!
And that's cool. I love that. But I feel like he'd do that in bed too.
If I got a rubber.
Yeah.
Tiff.
What?
I'm all rubber.
And not really into all the joking. Not into that really. Next, we got Mr. Chatterer from Hellraiser. And he gets a C tier. He is incredibly hot. I would absolutely get in on that. But he's exclusively a bottom, and that won't work out with me. Chop Top, S tier. My boy, my man, my guy. Chop Top is the kind of guy who listens to 100 Gex while smoking a joint on a Sunday afternoon just to feel something. And I feel that, honestly. Up next, we have Mr. Crooked Man from the Conjuring universe, and he receives an A tier because he's played by Javier Botet, and I desperately want Javier Botet all up in my guts, which I know probably won't happen, but a girl can dream, can't it? Deadite Ash from Evil Dead. B tier. He gets a B tier. Deadites, they're just cartoony zombies. Not too hot. But it's cool. I'm into it. But also, he would, like, definitely just puke on my dick in the middle of fucking because he thought it'd be funny. Next, we have the Driller Killer from Slumber Party Massacre Part 2. I give Mr. Driller Killer an S tier, cause he's just a rockabilly dude.
Now it's time for the fun part.
Doing his rockabilly thing with his guitar drill. What's not to love? Frankenfurter gets an S tier for obvious reasons. Mr. Frankenfurter, he defies gender. He defies sexuality. Everyone is attracted to Frank. And if you're not, you're a coward. Or probably just Ace or Arrow, which is cool. I vibe with that. 2010 Freddy Krueger. F tier. No. Just no. He tried his best, but it didn't work out. No. Robert Englund Freddy Krueger. My man. My guy. S tier. Robert Englund, he's just really, really cool and chill dude, from what I hear, and I'd be down to suck his dick if he asked, especially if he was in full Freddy regalia. Ghostface. That is a B tier. Now, C tier. C tier. Who Ghostface is changes every movie, and my willingness to do the nasty with them changes depending on the person under the mask. So I think I'll just round it out, give him a nice solid mid-tier C. There isn't really a middle here because there's 6 categories, but whatever. Modern American Godzilla is in S tier. I would absolutely let that kaiju bastard demolish me, and I'd thank him afterwards. Original Godzilla is in A tier. Still hot, still want him to fuck my shit up, but I feel like he'd casually toss around slurs while we're out on dates, which is not fun. Miss Gozer the Gozerian gets in S tier because I had canon that Diana, and by extension Gozer, is a bi trans woman, so she's allowed to call me a faggot and spit in my mouth. The second thing is unrelated to her being trans, but she can still do it. I'm down. Next we got Mr. Hannibal the Cannibal Lecter, and he gets a D tier. Now, Hannibal, he'll cook you a splendid meal of human flesh, and then he'll take you to his bedroom. You'll get going, but after a quick screw that's like extremely excruciating for both parties, he'll try to bite off your ear for the next dish he plans to make, which I'm not super into giving up my body parts for other people to eat unless I'm already dead or something, my guy. Herbert West from Reanimator, he gets in S tier. Herbert, my guy, my man, he did nothing wrong. He's just an autistic gay trans man who's hyperfixated on bringing people back to life and gets upset when his boyfriend ignores him for too long. If anything, Dan is the true villain of the Reanimator. Next, Jason Voorhees. I have but one thing to say about Mr. Jason Voorhees, and it is a quote from at Hewitt's Whore on Twitter.com. Jason has maggots in common. That's very sexy of him. They'd tickle your insides after he came in you. John Kramer from Saw, he gets a B tier. Now, he is hot. Tobin Bell is hot. But I feel like he would stop in the middle of sex to rant about morality, capitalism, and how shit the American healthcare system is. Which, I'm into that. Don't get me wrong, I'm into that. But when you're just trying to squirt your goo, get your load going, and he starts on a 15-minute rant about the separation of the proletariat from the means of production by the bourgeoisie, it gets very tiring. Lawrence Garden from Saw, C tier. He's just a guy, a dude. He's just a dude. That's it. Carrie Elways is hot, but Lawrence, he just does nothing for me. Leatherface, he gets an S tier. If you didn't think my boy Bubba was gonna be S tier, then you clearly don't know me. Then again, most of you probably don't know me or my interests, because I mostly talk about that stuff on Twitter, and nobody fucking follows me on Twitter. So follow me on Twitter. This is a call for you to follow me on Twitter. Do it right fucking now. Anyways, he's just an innocent cog in the machine of murder perpetuated by his family, and he deserves protection. I love him a lot. That is all. Leprechaun, D tier. He's a grimy, gross bastard, and that's hot. I'm into that. But again, the puns.
We're cooking now, kids.
The joking.
Oh, too bad. Forcing me to split in two. A nice young lad, such as you.
Not very hot. He'd probably use magic to, like, make his cock talk to me or some shit. Or, like, pull some, "Would you like to see me cook?" And then pull out a chicken from his hat or something. No, thank you. Leslie Vernon. I'm giving him an A tier. Leslie, he's an absolute sweetheart, and I love him to pieces. But the mask is so bad. If the mask were better, I would give him an S tier. Mark Hoffman from Saw. He's B tier. He's another guy, another dude. That's about it. He has very kissable lips, though, and that gives him some extra points. Modern Michael Myers. He gets an S tier. He's just a loving, caring gilf who just really holds a grudge. He would, like, 100% wanna... 100%? He would 100% want to cuddle before, during, and after sex. Up next, we have got Mr. Michael Myers again. This time, the original incarnation from the first Halloween. I'm going to give him a B tier. So, like, Michael is honestly a pretty boring character, and I probably shouldn't have put 3 different versions of him on this list. But, like, I feel like modern Michael, original Michael, and up next, Rob Zombie Michael are, like, completely different characters. Original Michael, he's bland. He's got no personality. I don't really care about him. But he's hot. That's about it. I'm gonna move him down to C. Rob Zombie Michael, giving him an A. Because he's still boring, but he definitely choked me during sex, which is hot. Mrs. Lovett, she gets an S tier. Maybe I'm just biased because Angela Lansbury is such a gilf, and I decided to use her version of the character for this. But, yeah. Norman Bates. He gets a D tier. D tier. Norman is just way too caught up on his mommy issues to care about dating or sex. And I feel like if we did do anything, he'd constantly slip up and call me mother, which I'm not really into. The Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth, A tier. He can give me a free colonoscopy. Hell yeah. Patrick Bateman, C tier. He's absolutely stunning. Christian Bale is like a chiseled statue come to life. But he's also a cishet white dude from the 80s who's obsessed with perfection and upholding capitalism, which is a major turnoff. He'd also, like, want to call me a faggot all the time, which I'm cool with when other queer people do it, but with this guy, nah. Also, he'd refer to me as, like, his experiment in sexuality or some shit, which is... you know what, fuck it, I'm putting him in F tier. Fuck you, Patrick Bateman. Tim Curry Pennywise. B tier. Okay, look. Tim Curry is hot. Clowns are hot. I would definitely go in on that. But the forehead. It's the forehead. I can't tiptoe around it. It's the forehead. Like, there's just so much of it. I can't get over it, and that's why Bill Skarsgård Pennywise is going in there too. Bill Skarsgård, he's hot. Clowns, still hot. But the fucking forehead. Pinhead from Hellraiser. S tier. He's totally into weird and kinky shit. And I would totally be down to explore some weird and kinky shit for a chance to bump uglies with this guy. Seth Brundle as the fully transformed Fly. B tier. Absolutely disgusting and awful, which I love, but he's too disgusting, you know? Like, I literally would have to plastic wrap all of the furniture just because he drips too much, and nah, no thanks. Seth Brundle as his regular human form, he gets C tier. He's just a guy. Another dude who's just a guy, just a dude. He's a Jeff Goldblum dude, and Jeff Goldblum is hot, yeah, but he's also a creepo, and that sort of cheapens it a bit. Not really into creepos. So, sorry, Mr. Brundle. Next, we have Seth Brundle, half transformed, and this guy, he gets an S tier. Just the perfect amount of gritty, gross, goopy, grotesque, disgusting, horrible, awful shit that I love. I would fuck this fly, man. Swan from Phantom of the Paradise, D tier. Just complete asshole. He is an awful human being. He would totally try, like, getting me high during sex so he could sell my dick to Satan or some shit. Sweeny Todd, C tier. He's hot. I love the disheveled 19th century emo look he's got going on, but I feel like he's too focused on his hunt for Joanna, and, like, he still hasn't gotten over finding out about his wife being dead, even, spoilers for a story that's nearly 200 years old, I guess. Skip to the times code on screen if you don't want to be spoiled about Sweeny Todd. Even though she's not dead, he wouldn't care enough about me and would basically ignore me except for when he wanted to get his dick wet, which even then he would only do reluctantly just because he wanted to get his jimmies off. Tiffany as a doll, F tier. Again, I'm not fucking a doll. Tiffany in human form, S tier. She's Jennifer Tilly. Do I need to say more? Have you seen Bound? Uber Jason from Jason X. B tier. Still hot as fuck, but the maggots in his cum are probably gone now, and I feel like the metal parts would be just really uncomfortable to hold on to while he's railing me. Victor Crowley, B tier for Mr. Crowley. He's a sweet guy. He'd give you a little peck, a little smooch on your way to work. He would totally just rip you in half with his bare hands if you ever argue, though. Xenomorph from Alien. S tier. Just literally just dicks with legs. That's hot. And the Yautja from Predator. S tier, yeah. The Yautja are hot bitches. And at the end of the first movie, when Arnold calls the one an ugly motherfucker, I cry. But yeah, that's it. That's my list. That's my tier list. Do you agree? Disagree? Let me know. Yeah, that's the list. That's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, see you later.